name is Alicja Kuklińska, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you this morning at the offices of the Polish National Alliance in the great city of Chicago that welcome you today with this morning with the beautiful sunshine. I am a PNA employee as well as the member of both organizations, the Polish American Congress and the Polish National Alliance. On behalf of the Trade and Investment section of the Embassy of Poland in Washington, Polish American Chamber of Commerce, Polish American Congress and the Polish National Alliance that protects families in the United States since 1880 throughout its financial products, its president and my boss, Mr. Frank Spula, and the executive officers, welcome to the second American Business Workshop and have a productive deliberations. For the opening remarks, I would like to ask Minister Ilona Antoniszyn-Klik, Under Secretary of State in the Polish Ministry of Economy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to see so many faces I know from my last visit and from the cooperation each year we have with the United States and the meetings we have in Warsaw. But I see some new faces and I'm happy to meet you the first time. It is something of historical significance, what I've been told by our trade counselor, Mr. Pietrasiński, because this kind of meetings were never taking place here, and especially the area we are discussing right now for cooperation, meaning economy, is an absolutely new quality of cooperation between the chambers in the United States, or within the United States, and with Poland when it comes to international cooperation. We had today the first meeting with our host, with Mr. Frank Spula, with whom we discussed what has changed right now in Poland, what has changed here. And it is what we will learn from you today. We will then later on be presenting to the United States government, and we will be, of course, presenting to the Polish government. So please feel as a part of a project which is an absolutely pioneer project, and we want to build on your expertise and on your goodwill. On behalf of the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economy, Mr. Janusz Piechociński, I am pleased to have the opportunity to open and greet all the participants of the second Polish-American Business Workshop. I was supposed to be here with you last year. It wasn't possible because, of course, we had some exciting things happening at the moment exactly, so I wasn't able to come to you last year, but I said to Mr. Pietrasiński, you know, this is the day we have to be here, and he arranged everything so it was possible. It is one of the big meetings of my visit in 3 locations or in 3 states. This is the first and the most important part. We will have later on the energy round table with the United States government in Washington, and later on a visit to San Francisco. I must say I come to you with some good news. Our Polish economy is growing. It's growing for the last 20 years, every year. Last 4 years, we've been discussing it just several minutes ago. In the last 4 years, we grew 20%, like no economy in Europe. We have some special results. We have to say with the United States, our trade was growing as well by 2%. So it is your work. I have to thank you for that. And I hope we will have some more to show. I mean, there are some people we have to thank specifically because it's their daily routine. We have to thank for, because this is the 2% they were working hard to achieve. And I believe, of course, Mr. Petrosiński, I want to thank you. You know that. But this is also the American side is helping us as well. So Mr. Tchaikovsky and Eric Stewart, thank you. So it is, yeah, it is something you have to. We have to admit this is not coming from nowhere. This is the work you are doing, and this work is showing results. So it should encourage us all to do more. Of course, the representative, Mr. Cybulski of Illinois, is doing his job as well, great in Warsaw. We have some good news when it comes to our development of our economy for the years 2014-2020. We will have again significant amount of European Union funds to support our economy. It means most of the funds will go to companies which are either investing in innovation or are investing or performing the work concerning with our infrastructure, our energy sector. So please direct your attention to London in the next 6 to 7 months to what it will be financed within the Polish support mechanisms. You will get a lot of information about this from us, so keep in touch with us. Especially we will be funding research and development, road connections, entrepreneurship, green energy, transport, which is friendly to environment, digitalization. It means we have a new ministry which is concerning only with the bringing the new age into our administration, and activity of the labor market. The whole amount of money between 2014 and 2020 will be 73 billion of euros. So it's a substantial amount of money, and it's more than we had for the years 2007 and 2013. Right now we are writing the operational program Smart Growth for the economy. It means all the entrepreneurs will have the news from us what way we will be supporting the companies. We have several sectors we want to support especially, and one of them is of course the biotechnology sector, which brought us for a presentation and for meetings as well to Chicago. We have a special economic promotion program for the internationalization of our enterprises. We have 15 sectors we want especially show abroad. I don't know whether you know them, but I will just name some of them. It is on the one hand some traditional branches like the furniture, amber and jewelry, but on the other hand, a absolutely great sector like mining, cosmetics, defense industry, biotechnology, medical equipment, and of course our food. We have achieved in the last year a 15% growth of Polish food exports. Our food is appreciated by all of Europe and by the European sales chains. Not so much in the last years appreciated by our neighbors. It means the Czech and Slovak Republic are not so happy that we are dominating their markets, but still the consumers are buying our food products. It means we have some good quality and price ratio. So if you want to discuss more about the Polish economy, I'm of course here for you, and I will listen to your discussions how to bring the Polish chambers together. If you need contact with our ministry, you have Mrs. Zofia Schnitzer here. So, Mrs. Schnitzer, please show yourself. This is our desk officer for the United States. We have the Director for International Relations of the Polish Enterprise Development Agency, Mr. Polański. the biggest agency in Poland when it comes to entrepreneurship. And of course, you have Mr. Pietraszynski all the time with you here. So thank you for inviting us, and we will be now closely listening to what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Minister. I'd like to ask now Mr. Frank Spula.
Thank you, Madam Mistress. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd like to say welcome to the offices of the Polish National Alliance and welcome to the second Polish American workshop, which is very, very important. You know, just by looking at the displays that we have here, you can show how much we've grown, how much we've gone forward in working together. And it's really through communication more than anything else. And it's a partnership. So when I see you, ladies and gentlemen, here in our audience, I feel this synergy, all this force of moving forward, of really moving forward. I feel the power in this room. And hopefully we'll be able to move forward throughout the entire day through our various workshops that we have here. You know, it's great to partner with the Polish American Chamber of Commerce and the trade investment of the Polish Embassy in Washington. This is a really follow-up meeting of last year's meeting. And I think last year was a great opportunity for us to get together, and that's why this meeting is being called for today, more than anything else, to move forward as well. And it's a great opportunity for us to get to know each other, to network, and to build Polish business and the Polska brand. I think that's the right way to go forward. You know, we're pleased to have, as honored guests joining us today, our former speaker, namely Ilona Antoniszyn-Klik, the Undersecretary in the Polish Ministry of Economy. Jarosław Narkiewicz, the Deputy Speaker of the Lithuanian Parliament. Longin Komorowski, President of the Wspólnota Polska Association. William Tchaikovsky, the head of the U.S. Commercial Service at the U.S. Embassy in Warsaw, and Paweł Pietraszynski, head of the Trade and Investment section of Poland's Embassy in Washington, D.C. You know, I need to address this. If it wasn't for Minister Pietraszynski and his concern and his commitment, we'd never ever be here today, you know, because it was really his idea going back a couple of years ago when the idea emanated. I know he spoke to me, and I know he spoke to Mr. Puchta on that as the executive director. And somehow or other, we had two groups to get together. And we thought it's a great opportunity for us to come together as a group of business people working together. You know, the Polish American Congress, as you know, has been around since 1944. Initially, when it started, it was focused on really, you know, addressing the issues of communism, to promote the democracy of Poland and independent Poland. Well, today, that's not the same issue. Today, Poland is an independent country. Take a look. You know, we've heard the minister tell us it's the 20th economy in the entire world. So today, the issues of Congress are totally different from what they were almost 70 years ago. They're different. We need to focus on different issues, and we have to incorporate and have people join the organization more so than ever before. Today, the Polish American Congress is a federation of more than 3,000 Polish American organizations, clubs, churches, and veterans groups throughout the world. But our focus today has to focus more on international issues, more so on issues concerning business interest. In order for organizations to succeed today, they need to network more than ever before. We take a look at social media today. Look at Facebook. And that's what we need to do more than ever before. Our world is totally different than what it was 70 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the same. And our business approaches are not the same as well. Today, you develop a product, it takes X number of dollars to move forward. And you know that better than anybody else in this group. But we need to have context. We need to network. And as an ethnic group, and we have American businesses here as well, we need to work together as a group. And I think that when I see so many familiar faces in the audience, I see that we have a need for these conferences. I certainly hope that we can build on this conference and move forward so the next one is even better than this one here. I'd like to say that let's all work together for the success of our businesses and for Poland, and let that get that Polska brand across. And I wish you all success. I wish you a great stay here in our great city of Chicago. The weather has been specially ordered just for you. So I wish you all a great day and good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Spula. I'd like to ask now Mr. Lukas Fuksa, President of the Board of Directors of the Polish-American Chamber of Commerce.
I wanted to grab the agenda real quick so I get all the names right if I need to refer to some complicated names. But good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone here. We're delighted. I'll have to echo Frank's statements about collaborating together as organizations with Polish-American Chamber of Commerce and the Congress and the other organizations you see here. You know, it's one of those fine examples of you get more done with greater numbers. So the more we collaborate together, the more organizations that are involved, the better, greater things we could do. Now, this workshop today, the tagline underneath you'll see here, it says, developing a modern tool to promote the Polska brand. So we have to remember this, and I think this is one of the things that whenever I go into some initiative or even a meeting with someone, I always want to accomplish at least one thing, because you could talk about 100 things, but if you don't accomplish any of those, it's really, there was no purpose to it. So I'd like to accomplish, at least here, get a lot of good thoughts about what the Polska brand means to people, because I think that's very important to the Ministry of Economy and the other organizations that are here in this room. I believe, in fact, in 2011, wasn't there a conference on branding Poland in Brussels? I believe I did some research on that and came across that, and I was surprised to see that, because it's something that within the Polish-American Chamber of Commerce, when we were thinking about the topics that would be discussed here, that was one of them, and it's good for us. We need to collaborate. Organizations in the United States need to collaborate with organizations in Poland, so we have a uniform branding strategy for Poland. And so, what do we mean by branding? I think not only for someone who's part of the Polish-American Chamber of Commerce, and one example of our branding strategy is finally changing our logo for that we used to have an old logo since 1994, and now you can see we have a modern new logo, and that's exactly what that at least one piece of branding is getting marketing yourself towards the right people and in a way that you want to be represented correctly. So it's interesting when you think of branding a country, because it's not the same as really branding a company. And I took a look. There was a report by a business consulting agency that did the top 100 brands in Poland. I was thinking about which ones they would be before I even looked at it, and I was able to name most of them. And probably out of the top 10, at least half were alcohol or beer related. And so, which is great, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and it shows how these products have such a great brand. There was Belvedere, there was Żywiec, and there was Tiske, and these are brands that almost everyone, even in the United States, would be able to recognize. And so you see by seeing these brands and realizing that you know these, and even if you're in a foreign country, I mean, these are brands that are obviously very popular in Poland also, but in the United States, they're also familiar brands. So it's something that now we need to take an opportunity to brand Poland in a way that people recognize it, that it represents a certain image to people who may not be as familiar with Poland as we are. Of course, there's countries such as Italy, for example, and maybe when you think of Italy, the first things you think of: designer clothes and shoes, good food, good cars, romanticism. And so they've done a good job of that. And I think, it's something that's difficult because it plays from the history, the country's history and culture and society. That's kind of what makes the brand image of Poland. But I think this is such an opportune time for Poland to really recreate its branding and its image, because, as Ms. Minister said, it's now becoming such a great place to do business in. And I think really that should be the branding strategy: is this is the country you want to do business in. And I see it as aside from being a part of the Polish American Chamber of Commerce, in my day-to-day job, I'm an attorney and a business attorney. And, you know, I came here in 1982, so that was a time when people, a lot of Polish Americans here in Chicago remember there was a huge influx of Polish immigrants to the United States looking to do better things and having a better life in the United States for themselves. Now, even as an attorney, I see this very often, is you have the reverse. People are going back to Poland, and I've seen a lot of people who came here to do business, have been successful business people, and now we're going back to Poland to actually do that on a grander scale and to contribute and give back to the country. And you know, we have examples of these people in this room today, and it's just interesting to see that. I don't think maybe when they came here also in the 1980s, they would have ever imagined that they would be going back to Poland to start a business and being successful at it. But Poland has been so welcoming in providing such a good environment for these companies to do that, that I think the only thing that's missing is the marketing strategy of letting people know about these opportunities in Poland. And I think we're doing a greater job every year about it in promoting Poland for that purpose. And I think it's events like these and conferences like these that really get the word out. But it's really never enough. And in order for us to really make it be something that's aware to the community, I think we really need to have a uniform branding strategy so that we, for example, as the Polish American Chamber of Commerce, can promote Poland the same way as the Ministry of Economy would do it in Poland. And so I think, you know, through some discussion and brainstorming, we could do a good job of really getting that point across so that we know how to move forward as a great country to do business in. So I thank you for the opportunity to speak, and I hope everyone really takes some thought and gets something out of this. And of course, anything that anyone could contribute to this conference is very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, President Fuchsa. I would like to ask now Ms. Elżbieta Polak, Marshal of Lubuskie Voivodeship, that's a difficult translation, to speak right now. Thank you.
Panowie prezesi, pani minister, szanowni państwo, bardzo dziękuję za zaproszenie tutaj do Chicago. Mam nadzieję, że będę mogła się zrewanżować i gościć państwa w regionie lubuskim. Region lubuski jest najbardziej otwartym i tolerancyjnym regionem w Polsce. I dlatego, proszę państwa, nasz region smakuje wyjątkowo winem i miodem. Z powodzeniem realizujemy naszą strategię. Chcemy, żeby lubuskie to była zielona kraina nowoczesnych technologii. W drugiej części przedstawię państwu region, nasz potencjał gospodarczy i mam nadzieję, że spotkamy się w lubuskim.
Thank you, Madam Marshal. We're looking forward to it. I would like to ask Mr. Longin Komołowski, the President of Wspólnota Polska, to stand here by the microphone.
Szanowni Państwo, chciałem podziękować oczywiście dla pana Franka Spuli i dla Kongresu, dla PNA za to spotkanie, za zaproszenie na to spotkanie, bo jestem trochę innej roli niż normalnie, bo normalnie Wspólnota Polska jest to taka organizacja, która pracuje z Polonią na całym świecie, w tym bardzo aktywnie oczywiście z Polonią w Ameryce. I na początku takich spotkań zawsze nie omieszkam i tym razem też to zrobię, podziękować w imieniu Polaków mieszkających w kraju za ogromny wkład Polonii, liderów Polonii w Ameryce w trudnych okresach naszej ojczyzny. Myślę tutaj o I wojnie światowej, II wojnie światowej, wiele lat walki o prawdę o mordzie katyńskim, moralne wsparcie dla naszych władz na uchodźstwie, pomoc dla Solidarności, pomoc dla opozycji. Myślę, że to wielkie wsparcie dla prezydenta Reagana, które jakby przyczynił się walnie do odzyskania przez Polskę wolności, było takim ważnym właśnie wkładem w wolność w Polsce. No i ostatnia ogromna akcja, która przyczyniła się do wejścia Polski do NATO. Także dziękować Polonii amerykańskiej, liderom jakby nigdy nie jest dość i zawsze trzeba to czynić. Ważne jest też, że liderzy Polonii amerykańskiej wielokrotnie zabierali bardzo ważny głos w sprawach istotnych dla Polski. Ten głos był mocny, słyszany i tak powinno być, ale myślę, że z samego faktu, że tak się działo, niekoniecznie tak musi być i dlatego ważnym jest, aby wzmacniać politycznie Polonię amerykańską, żeby jej głos, jej udział w życiu społeczno-politycznym w Ameryce był adekwatny do ilości mieszkających tutaj Polaków, do potencjału intelektualnego i potencjału ekonomicznego. I tak dochodzimy do sedna tej konferencji. Tutaj jakby podziękowanie, że Kongres Polonii Amerykańskiej zauważa ten problem i rozszerza właśnie swoją działalność na te relacje gospodarcze. Myślę, że ciągle jest chyba niewykorzystany w ten element współpracy biznesu, liderów biznesu tutaj w Ameryce z biznesem u nas w kraju, z gospodarką. Pani minister tutaj jakby o tych możliwościach i tutaj przedstawiciele regionów, myślę, że w czasie tych spotkań będą o tym mówić. To jest ważne też z takiego punktu widzenia, że dla nas w kraju jest ważny obraz Polonii na świecie, tak? Ponieważ Polonia, jej działalność, jej liderzy to jest wizytówka naszego kraju. Więc to, że i fakt, że w środowisku polskim, w środowisku Polonii jest wiele ludzi, wiele osób, które zrobiło karierę w biznesie i myślę, że Polska w sytuacji szczególnie w nowej tutaj projekcji budżetu Unii, gdzie będzie nastawiona na innowacje, to myślę, że te osiągnięcia wielu właśnie osób wśród Polonii mogłoby tutaj aktywnie wpłynąć na zarówno na sytuację w Polsce gospodarczą, wesprzeć tutaj to, wesprzeć środowiska Polonii właśnie w Ameryce, a tym samym służyć Polsce. My jako stowarzyszenie do tej pory, tak jak wspomniałem na początku, głównie działamy na innych polach, na kulturowym, na tożsamościowym, ale od pewnego czasu zajmujemy się organizowaniem w ramach tej konferencji w Krynicy, Forum Gospodarczego, zajmujemy się kreowaniem takiego projektu Młodzi Liderzy Polonijni. Chcemy tutaj w ramach tych spotkań, które tam się odbywają, kreować właśnie przez umożliwianie spotkań, przez umożliwianie współpracy, budowanie nowego przywództwa Polaków, liderów Polonii, młodych liderów Polonii rozsianych po całym świecie, zachęcając ich też do kooperowania, do swoistej solidarności międzypokoleniowej, ponieważ zauważamy taki trend separowania się jakby dawniejszej Polonii od tej nowo przybyłej tutaj Polonii. I dlatego też ta myśl, którą rozwijamy w ramach tych spotkań właśnie w Polsce. się zastanawiam, co by tutaj jeszcze powiedzieć, ale myślę, że to już jest wystarczająco, ponieważ jeszcze raz podkreślę i podziękuję za tą inicjatywę. To jest drugie spotkanie. Myślę, że te spotkania będą trwały, że uczestników z Polski będzie coraz więcej, ponieważ to działanie, tak jak powiedziałem i powtórzę, ono jest niezwykle ważne dla Polonii, dla Polaków, myślę, i jest ważne dla naszego kraju. Dziękuję bardzo.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to summarize what Premier Komorowski told. The Stowarzyszenie Wspólnota Polska actually is the organization that deals usually with the cultural and educational aspect of Polonia. But because the times are changing and there is a need of integration between the young, energetic people who are educated here in the United States or other countries, they want to have business with Poland. They want to be part of this so-called Polish success, and they want to also give back something to the community. And the Premier explained in the beginning of his speech a little bit about the history, how important role Polish Americans played in the history of Poland, and how many times they spoke very strongly about a certain issue and all the accomplishments. Now the times are different. We have to look to the future. The Poland is an independent country. The Poland has wonderful resources in business dealing, and he's very excited and very supportive that the Polish American Congress and the PNA and this conference is taking place the second time in the United States. It's about time that we all get our energy together, the old Polonia, the young Polonia, and we can support each other and make the benefit for Poland and for us here. I try my best. I didn't make a note, so thank you.
You did very well, and to those who don't know, this is Bożena Kamińska, Vice President of the Polish American Congress Polish Agenda. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Komorowski. I'd like to ask now Mr. Jarosław Narkiewicz from Lithuania to speak. He is the Deputy Speaker of the Lithuanian Parliament. Congratulations.
Thank you. Gerbimieji susirinkusieji, gerbimieji dalyviai šito verslo forumo, gerbiamas prezydentė, szanowni zebrani, szanowni przedstawiciele tego forum gospodarczego, szanowni przedstawiciele trzech państw, Stanów Zjednoczonych, Polski i Litwy. Niezmiernie miło nam tutaj być z państwem, już obcować i móc podzielić się swoimi sukcesami, które możliwie w branży gospodarczej, w verslumo prasme, w branży biznesowej nie są tak ewidentne, jakie osiągnęliście państwo, ale myślę, że sukces polityczny daje nam możliwość rozwinąć i naszą współpracę gospodarczą, współpracę biznesową. Rzeczywiście sukces polityczny społeczeństwa polskiego na Litwie jest ewidentny i naszą obecnością, ponieważ my jesteśmy tutaj przedstawicielami jakby Sejmu, to jest duży sukces i wiceburmistrz, marszał miasta, stolicy Wilna, który będzie za chwilę także z państwem obcował, to jest także duży sukces, ale sukcesy są i na niższym szczeblu. Przede wszystkim dla nas chyba najważniejszym to szczeblu samorządowym. To dookoła Wilna takie regiony jak rejon wileński, rejon solicznicki, rejon szerwiński, rejon święciański, rejon trocki, no i oczywiście stolica Wilno jest współrządzona przez obywateli Litwy narodowości polskiej. Co za tym idzie? Za tym idzie, stwarzane są możliwości nie tylko do duchowego, oświatowego, kulturowego samo się realizowania, ale także i do gospodarczego, bo przecież nie jednym duchem człowiek jest syty. Więc nasze tutaj spotkanie jest jak najbardziej potrzebne, aby zasygnalizować, że Litwa też jest otwarta wszystkim państwu dla prowadzenia interesów, które będą korzystne dla wszystkich nas. Szczególnie zachęcałbym wykorzystać następne półrocze, ponieważ z lipca Litwa będzie przewodniczyć w Unii Europejskiej. Państwo chyba wiedzą, że Litwa, tak jak Polska, jest pełnoprawnym członkiem Unii Europejskiej i tutaj w Chicago w konsulacie litewskim odbędzie się szereg imprez towarzyszących. Więc zachęcałbym Państwa do tych kontaktów, a my oczywiście za pośrednictwem i wielce szanownego pana Franka z Puli i innych tutaj obecnych jesteśmy gotowi do konkretnej współpracy. Mamy przecież swego ministra energetyki, mamy swoich wiceministrów kultury, oświaty, środowiska i znów energetyki, mamy swoich merów, mamy swoich przedstawicieli w samorządach, czyli to wszystko stwarza, że biznes dla trojga narodów będzie bardzo potrzebny, aby lobizować nasze sukcesy. Dziękuję bardzo, owocnych obrad, pozdrawiam serdecznie.
Premier Komorowski spoke was difficult, but this one is hard to beat. There's so much energy. What Vice Marshal said, Speaker of the Seimas said, is that he's very proud to be here. He's very excited. He came with the delegation. There's going to be another speaker, which is the vice mayor of the deputy mayor of the Vilnius, and at the same time, he also stressed out that they are very, very open for the working and business relationship between three countries. He pointed out that it's very exciting that we have the representatives from the United States, Poland, and Lithuania in the same room. And also he encouraged everybody who can participate in this celebration, since the Lithuania is going to be hosting the host of the European Union. So there's going to be many different opportunities and activities because of that leadership in the European Union. So he's exciting, he's enthusiastic, and it's really very difficult to, without the notes, to translate and give you all this energy that Jarosław Narkiewicz creates. But I'm sure many of you understand Polish, so it's only for those who don't.
And thank goodness he didn't speak in Lithuanian, because that would be difficult to translate. And I would like to thank you so much, and I would like to ask Mr. Jarosław Kamiński, Deputy Mayor of Vilnius. That's a Polish city in the middle of Lithuania, no doubts about it.
No ja nie będę po litewsku, sorry. Szanowni Państwo, niezmiernie miło mi przywitać tu wszystkich uczestników spotkania. Przedstawiam miasto Wilno, wielokulturowe, wielonarodowe miasto, w którym około 20% mieszkańców stanowią Polacy. Głęboko symbolicznie, że spotykamy się tutaj w Chicago, w mieście, z którym Wilno przed 20 laty podpisało umowę partnerską w ramach programów Sister Cities. Spotykamy się tutaj ci, którzy kiedyś z różnych powodów opuścili swoją ojczyznę, i ci, którzy nie opuszczali ojczyzny, tylko że stało się tak, że w ramach porozumień altańskich te granice przekroczyły nas. Dla Polaków mieszkających na Litwie stała się Litwa ojczyzną, a Polska naturalnie jest naszą macierzą i bardzo nam zależy na dobrych relacjach z Polską, bardzo nam zależy na dobrej marce Polski, bo to jakby daje nam powód do dumy narodowej. Razem szliśmy z Polską do Unii Europejskiej, szliśmy do NATO i myślę, że tym razem też wspólnie powinniśmy otwierać nowe horyzonty. Dzisiaj tutaj jestem gościnnie, no i zostawiłem komputer w hotelu, ale miałem jednak prezentację, zawsze w zasadzie ją mam i gdyby kogoś ciekawiło, jest w języku polskim. Prezentację mogę przedstawić na pendrive'ie o możliwościach inwestycyjnych naszego miasta, o nowych projektach, nowych programach. Korzystając z okazji, chciałbym serdecznie zaprosić wszystkich do odwiedzenia naszego miasta, zapoznania się z jego możliwościami, no a także z sercem tego miasta, Starówką Wileńską, która jest wciągnięte na listę zabytków UNESCO. Chciałbym serdecznie podziękować panu Maciejowi Cybulskiemu, panu Frankowi Spule, panu Longinowi Komolowskiemu za umożliwienie pobytu tutaj z wami razem. Chciałbym uczestnikom życzyć sukcesów i produktywnych dyskusji. Tutaj na przykładzie Kamińskich może powiem. Kamiński jest w Wilnie, Kamiński jest w Nowym Jorku, znam Kamińskiego i z Olecka, znam Kamińskiego z Gdańska. No pamiętajmy, czy to byłoby Chicago, czy to byłaby Warszawa, czy to byłoby Wilno, pamiętajmy, że Polak zawsze potrafi. Dziękuję serdecznie.
Deputy Mayor said that it is a great pleasure to be here at this conference, and he represents the city that almost 20% of the people in the city are Polish people. He also stressed out that they have not leave their homeland. They stayed. The borders were moved, so they became part of a different country, the Lithuania, and even though they have this citizenship of Lithuania, their nationality, they strongly feel they are Polish. It's a motherland, which is the Poland. He also said that the city is growing rapidly. Is also mentioned a little bit about the cultural and historical importance of the city. The old town and the city was listed in the UNESCO as a very important historical. What else? He's also very encouraging about doing things together. He said that the Polish, Lithuanian, and American and all of us should be playing, especially since the Poland and Lithuania was coming into NATO together, into EU together. So let's start doing business together. So on that note, I wish you all the best meeting and interaction. Oh yes, and last not least, Kamiński's are everywhere, and I need to address this. We are not related, but I adopted him. He became a very important part of our family, and I was in Vilna twice, and I think I will always come back. Going to Poland, I will definitely see Vilna because it's a wonderful city. So I encourage all of you to really think of Poland, but also see that possibility of doing business with Lithuania as well, especially right now when we have Polish elected officials in charge, so to say. All right, so good luck and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bożena Kamińska, Polish American Congress, Vice President, Polish Agenda. Just to remind you, and on behalf of Polonia here in the United States, I can just say congratulations to the gentleman from Lithuania on your election to such a high positions. Thank you. I'd like to ask Mr. William Tchaikovsky, Head of U.S. Commercial Service, U.S. Embassy in Warsaw, to speak right now.
Thank you, everyone. Let me first say what an honor it is to be here today. In many ways, not only because I am a Chicagoan, so for me to come back and have this event take place in my city is a great honor. And not only because I embody the three-country approach today. I am not only a Polish American, but I'm also Lithuanian American. Three of my grandparents came from Poland, one came from Lithuania. So I think I embody what we're trying to do today. But mostly it's an honor for me because this fits perfectly with my mandate. I'm a member of the Commercial Service, which is part of the Commerce Department, serving overseas. My current tour is in Warsaw, and as my counterparts here will attest, it's also my passion to increase trade and investment between Poland and the United States. And so it's not only an honor for me, but I'll also throw out the challenge. The challenge is for us to walk away from this meeting, even though I didn't take part in the first one that happened last year. I didn't start my tour yet. Now that I'm here for the second one, I do want to see something concrete, something we can actually take advantage of, because what I'd like to see is, in the end of the day, to increase U.S. investment and trade with Poland increase twofold over my tour of 4 years. And I think that's doable. I think the opportunities in Poland are very obviously in that direction. And I must admit, we do have very close partners in this. The Ministry of Economy has been a close partner for us. We've had, on a quarterly basis, a webinar where the ambassador reaches out, our ambassador reaches out to the American business community to encourage them to come to Poland. And the last one we did specifically on the information and communication technology sector, Pani Minister and Director Polanski both participated with us. And we had, I think, the biggest draw we had to date. So I attributed that to you, not to us. But it shows that we're doing just about anything we can on a concrete basis to grab U.S. companies and bring them to Poland. I congratulate the ministry and their efforts to do brand Polska, because I always tell this story. I have a very close friend, a very successful international business person from California, a lawyer, who, when I first arrived to Poland, said, you know, Bill, could you go outside your building and just take random pictures of the street and then send them to me? And I asked, why? Why would that be of interest to you? And he says, because even though I've been worldwide in business in all these different countries, for me, the image I have in my brain of Poland is what I see on the History Channel. And that is what I have to combat, and I think we all have to combat, because Poland and the United States are natural business partners. And so we have to break through this barrier and really develop a relationship, an economic relationship that is in line with that reality. And so you have my commitment. I'm in Warsaw. The reason I exist there is to help build bridges, is to what I call matchmaking between Polish and American companies. So you have my commitment. And so now I throw out the challenge that at the end of today's program, that we have a concrete plan that I can participate in bringing to fruition. So good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Tchaikovsky. And welcome home, too. And to those that don't know, Mr. Tchaikovsky speaks Polish as well. I learned that. Thank you. I would like to ask Mr. Maciej Cybulski, Head of Illinois Trade Office in Warsaw.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here. It's my history, you may say. It's partially devoted to Poland and partially devoted to United States and this great state of Illinois. So when I was offered the job in Warsaw, being here, Chicagoan, I said, okay, I'll do this. That was the Governor Thompson at that time. And but I said, well, I would like to go to Poland, but I would like to go for maybe 2 years, 3 years at most. I'm in Warsaw right now 22 years, and and I'm happy about it. So please, if anybody of you would like to use our services, we are on the Chmielna Street. I have my business cards with me, and I can, of course, distribute them. And but not only for people from the state of Illinois, because I'm also the president of Polish-American Chamber of Commerce, and we are working with everybody. And also I'd like to mention the new kind of organization established probably about a year ago, which is called the Best of Poland. You can see it on the website. This is kind of a, I would say, maybe Polish Facebook for everything what is interesting and the best in our country, in Poland. It's about culture, it's about business, it's about history, it's about music, it's about painters, about facilities, locations, sightseeings, and everything what's in Poland important and beautiful. So please take a look at it. Now I would like to read to you two letters. The one is coming from the Kancelary of President of Poland, from Mr. Olgierd Dziekoński, which is Secretary of State. Letters in Polish, but I will read it anyway. Do organizatorów i uczestników polsko-amerykańskiej konferencji w Chicago. Szanowni Państwo, pozdrawiam wszystkich zebranych w Chicago na drugiej edycji polsko-amerykańskiej konferencji w warsztatach biznesowych North America Business Network Developing a Modern Tool to Promote the Polska Brand. Gratuluję organizatorom, Kongresowi Polonii Amerykańskiej, Związkowi Narodowemu Polskiemu, Polsko-Amerykańskiej Izbie Gospodarczej oraz Ambasadzie RP w Waszyngtonie wyboru tematu oraz dynamiki organizacyjnej. Wydarzenie zaczyna być nie tylko spotkaniem biznesowym Polonii Amerykańskiej, ale już przy okazji drugiej edycji staje się zjazdem Polonii z kilku innych krajów, jak Kanada czy Litwa. Dzisiejsza konferencja to doskonała okazja do licznych dyskusji na temat możliwości współpracy Polaków globalnie, wymiany doświadczeń, kooperacji na rzecz promocji i rozwoju przewag konkurencyjnych i atutów promocyjnych Polski, istotnych dla tworzenia pozytywnego, spójnego wizerunku naszej gospodarki w świecie i Polski jako brandu. Na świecie są tysiące polskich produktów, ale mało kto wie, że pochodzą z Polski. Dlatego powinniśmy dążyć do poszerzenia tej świadomości poprzez promocję tego, co polskie, w nowatorski i przyjazny sposób. My sami, Polacy, mieszkający w kraju, jak i poza jego granicami, musimy dumnie reprezentować polską markę. Warto to robić w sposób innowacyjny w duchu gospodarki XXI wieku. To nasza odpowiedzialność i wielkie wyzwanie. Z wyrażami szacunku i pozdrowieniami z Polski, Olgierd Dziekoński. And the second letter I have is coming from President of Poznań International Fair, Mr. Andrzej Byrt. He's supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he couldn't come, but I will explain in a moment why it's so important that cooperation with him and collaboration. Dear sirs, I would like to express my deepest thanks for inviting me to take part in the second Polish-American Business Workshop titled North America Business Network Developing a Modern Tool to Promote Polska Brand, held in April 22 in Chicago, Illinois. Since 1921, the Poznań International Fair has been one of the most efficient tools of such promotion of our country worldwide. Hence our great interest in your initiative. However, this year, because of some unexpected events, I have been unable to respond positively to your kind invitation and come to Chicago. I'm sure it will contribute, however, to strengthen the efficiency of Polish-American business community actions to promote the positive Polska brand both in the United States and overseas. Therefore, I would like to declare our readiness to join your action to cooperate with you in the realization of your above-mentioned endeavor. We would like to invite you to use our rich program of trade fairs events which can foster the Polska brand. We will be cooperating in this with the State of Illinois Central European Office in Warsaw, hoping that your second Polish-American Business Workshop will end in success. I remain truly yours, Andrzej Byrt, President and CEO of Poznań International Fair. Why it's so important? Because we think that a future will bring us together with not only with Polonia in the United States, not only Polonia in Canada, but we can shoot for all over the world meeting in Poznań at the Poznań Fair grounds, and have a conference, have a trade show, and seminar where the Polish Poles from all over the world can exchange views, can exchange information, can exchange business, and teach each other to go forward as a Polska brand. So I hope that I'll have you, ladies and gentlemen, also in the future as the participants of this kind of an endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cybulski. Last but certainly not least, Minister Paweł Pietrasiński, head of the Trade and Investment section of Polish Embassy, Washington.
Thank you very much, and I just like to ask you to just to remember what happened that was May 19th, 2012, and a lot of you signed a very important document. It was the Chicago Declaration, and I'd like to just to remind you what we actually did, because we signed something in that document which is actually producing results today. And just a quick reminder of some of signatures when were given that time. We are celebrating right now one anniversary. It was Polish American Congress and Polish National Alliance set as the first place this document. And of course, we had 3 honorary consuls of Poland also sign this document. One of the most active consuls in our promotional endeavors in the United States. We have with us John Petkus, our honorary consul from the state of Nevada. And of course, congratulations also to him, because he signed there and then promised us something to create the new Polish-American Chamber of Commerce of Nevada, and now it's really happening. So he will be sharing with us his success of it, and we added additional chamber to our database. This is important. And also we had a Polish Agency for Enterprise Development which signed the document. We have high representative today with us, and Polish Chambers of Commerce, so Krajowa Izba Gospodarcza. We have also representative from us, and of course Illinois Trade Office in Warsaw, and signed this. And let me just remind you one important fact. This is only one state through the whole United States which not only established but keeps keeps operations regarding the trade office from Poland. So it's important. This is not only office which is focused only on Poland-US relations. It's a whole region, but this is important that we are the place of this office, and we will have a chance with Madam Minister tomorrow. We'll meet with the governor of the state of Illinois, Patrick Quinn, and we will also mention this fact to the governor. And of course, speaking about other organizations, we have was American Chamber of Commerce in Poland. That was AmCham. That was also U.S.-Poland Business Council with the presence of Eric Stewart today. We have also the Polish American Chamber of Commerce from Warsaw, but also Atlanta Polish Chamber. So very important for us, the organizations from Georgia. We had the Polish American Chamber of Commerce of Florida and the America. So we have Mr. President Ładowski together with us, with his also the whole of his board. So thank you for that. And of course, Polish American Chamber of Commerce of Pacific Northwest. I see the representatives of this important chamber from Seattle, and of course, Polish American Business Club of New York, and Polish American Contractors and Builders Association, so PASBA from here. And of course, the special thanks goes to the co-host of today's event. One of them we are enjoying right now being here on one of the oldest, and one of the most magnificent headquarters of Polish American organizations is Polish American Congress and Polish National Alliance, with leadership role of President Frank Spula, and of course our friends from the Polish American Chambers of Commerce in Chicago. And we'll have a great chance today not only discuss here in this building during the workshop, but we will also have a chance to celebrate in the evening at the Copernicus Center in the event co-organized by both of the organizations I mentioned just before. And what is important for us, and this it's need to be stressed, that we would like to encourage you, and I spoke with Madam Minister about this. We like encourage you during the next 2 panels and also during the breakout sessions, just to sit down together, discuss the details, and maybe even make some arrangements, make some plans, and even if you will be ready to do that, we encourage you also to sign, for example, the Chicago Declaration #2 or some kind of the annex to the first one. This is important because when we agree on something, then we will have the whole year to make it happen. And I believe in it because what we did last year, we just put the kind of the 3C formula. One was we promise ourselves to communicate together. Yes, and I believe we established this. We have even greater or the best in the history communications between chambers, between the Congress, between other business-oriented Polish diaspora organizations. So first, we accomplished that. The second, we promised to collaborate together. So to collaborate, we means doing the joint projects, and I tell you, in the next 6 or 7 weeks, we will have right now we have the joint projects in Chicago as a trade and investment section in the Ministry of the Economy. In 2 weeks, in May, we will have a joint project in Miami with Miami Chamber, and in the 6 weeks, we will have a Tech Week. This is the trade show for the Polish IT startup companies in Chicago, together with cooperating with the Polish American Chambers of Commerce from here. So it's in 6 weeks we have 3 projects with the Polish Chambers. It shows you how deep and how intensive is our cooperation, and just to give you a kind of what we accomplished is how the Madam Minister said this and underlined this, that we have a quite achievements regarding the statistics, let's say the numbers in US-Poland trade relations and even investment relations, because we are enjoying very let's say balanced trade with the United States. It's very good. This is not a situation like, for example, you have and our country too have, for example, with China, very unbalanced situation in trade. We have very balanced situation with slight, let's say, positive balance on Polish side. So it was difficult to imagine 20 years ago that Poland would enjoy $1 billion balance, positive balance of trade with United States. So according to American data, because we are mostly have this information from American statistics, but Americans buy more than $1 billion of Polish products, more than Poles buy Americans one. So it was difficult to imagine. But what is difficult to imagine, and the second place is that that was mentioned by the chairman of the Polish-American Chamber of Commerce, Łukasz. You mentioned that about branding of Poland through the, let's say, alcohol brands. Yes, but let's imagine what we are selling to the United States. And the first place are jet engines and part to jet engines. So this is a very high quality products. Of course, branding is mostly American because these are Lockheed and Martin, Boeing, and others. But this is very high quality products coming from Poland to United States as export. But the second is IT, ICT, hardware, and software. This is almost $700 million we are selling right now. These IT solutions to United States. This is not a simple type of the trade. Yes, this is very and high quality and very deep type of the relation, because this is the technology relations. And of course, the first place is a machinery, electrical and non-electrical machinery. So it's if you see the biggest components in our export, we have very high technology relations with the United States. Let's build on that, and of course I mentioned also the investment. The investment of United States investment to Poland is growing. It's maybe not growing so fast like in 90s, but we are working together with US-Poland Trade Council to make a second dynamics to the situation. But according to different data, it's almost $20 billion right now of American companies put to Poland, and this is almost 400,000 jobs in Poland produced. We like it, but we also are producing jobs in United States. When I first time look at the situation, that was 2 years ago, our investment of Polish companies in United States was slightly over $300 million. Right now it's $1.5 billion. So it's you see this kind of the 400% growth in the last 2 years. What doesn't show us is that Polish companies starting to build a presence in United States. And someone could ask, of course, are you not afraid that you will lose jobs in Poland? No, because we are checking every kind of the investment Polish companies are doing here in United States, everyone producing jobs on both sides of the Atlantic. So every job created by Polish companies in United States also produces one or even more jobs in Poland. This is a very, very favorable situation, and it means like a kind of the partnership situation. Yes, that when the American company invests in Poland, brings mutual benefits for both of countries and also our investment here. This is a completely new situation, but I encourage the panelists in the panel of chambers, in the panel of other business organizations. Let's have this in mind, that the Polish companies will be coming here in the more organized or less organized trade missions, or even for the tourist purposes. I hope that would be easier soon to come for touristic purposes. Also, business tourism is very important. So if you have that in mind, we can cooperate together to help those companies to find American partners, and many of those American partners are already members of your organization. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one announcement. We have to admit, we have with Madam Minister very intensive program today, and we have other commitment to make. But I will be I didn't consult with Minister what I'm gonna say right now, but I will be working with her today just to complete the whole program, just to appear and congratulate you also in the evening part of the program at the Magnificent Copernicus Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Pietraszynski. I hope you'll be able to fulfill your commitments today. We're running a little late. I would like to thank very much to all of our distinguished speakers. Thank you.